Okay, we are now at nine, part nine of our 13-part series of doing a cast assessment of all Amazing Race 35, note the quotation, teams from this season. We're going from who I think will finish in 13th place in the season through to first place. And in 13th place, we had ANDREA and MALAINA, who I think will shit the bed by tonight's premiere, which airs in about 20 minutes on the East Coast for you East Siders. And we are now up to who I think will finish in fifth place, which is Greg and John Franklin. Hey, it's Frank. Oh, I already did that for Morgan and Lena in the last video. So I guess we'll say they can reflect electrical shocks with the Franklin badge from Earthbound. Is that going to be their advantage? So these two have traveled a lot together. Even when they go back to visit their parents or family, they sleep in bunk beds together. I have a feeling that if Todd had to use their bunk bed, he would not be. His legs would be stretching about half a foot over the bed, I think. Greg and John, they have a lot of travel experience, not as much as me. Logan, the TARstorian Saunders, I have a lot more travel. I have probably more travel experience than Greg and John combined. We have a lot of teams who seem fairly travel savvy this season, and Greg and John certainly seem one of them. I expect them to make a deep run. And for some reason, people are comparing them to Marcus and Michael, which is really annoying. Like, the only thing that they have in common with Marcus and Michael, other than being brothers, is that they both use the same fist bump pose in their press photos. Yeah, the Amazing Race subreddit can be a bit annoying sometimes. Some of the comparisons are just really shallow. Let's see, where are they from? Did I bother with any notes about Greg and John? Let's see, they're in their mid-20s, so that's good. They don't seem like the most physically strong team out of everybody, especially out of some of the other all-male teams that we have. One of them is a software developer. I presume Greg, since that's the first job I wrote down. And we're going from left to right. And then John's a project manager. And they're from New York City and California, which again covers almost any season's starting line and or finish line on Amazing Race. So that certainly helps them. They've traveled through Asia. Asia is going to be a huge part of this season. So you presume they're going to coast through the first half of the season, not get culturally overwhelmed compared to, say, I don't know, potentially Todd and ASHLIE or ANDREA and MALAINA. I don't think ANDREA and MALAINA have much travel experience in Asia. That's my assumption. They could say, oh, we've been to 100 countries. So for all of you who doubted us, suck on that. But I don't think we'll be sucking on much of anything, to be honest with you. So yeah, they seem like they're going to do quite well. They're by far the shortest write-up, just because they didn't give too much information away in terms of strategy or what they were going to do on the race. None of them have any special hidden talents. So I think they're going to do quite well. I would be surprised if they don't finish in the top 5. The only downside is that when you are siblings, you tend to make the same, or if you're siblings and you have similar backgrounds and similar jobs, you tend to make similar mistakes as well that your partner is not going to catch. That's why it's good to have a bit more balance in your team. So in a team like this, you can usually excel at the same things, but you also suck at the same things. So that's always the biggest downside. And yeah, I still have a few more teams to really rush through, 4 more to be exact. So let's cut it short here and not make any more Franklin references, as much as I love that turtle. Although I was more of an Arthur guy. I preferred Arthur the Aardvark over Franklin the turtle. I don't know. There's something about the red hat that only Ash Ketchum should have from Pokemon.